Hello everybody, welcome to Vote for Heines, the YouTube channel for me, Matthew Heines. I'm running for Congress in Washington State in 2022. I ran in 2020 and I ran for the Senate in 2018. And now we see, and now I understand why I did not do better in these elections. As you see, and as what is coming out in these elections, number one is that these voting machines have always been rigged. So the question is, how many elections have been thrown because of these machines? Another question is how is it that Washington State, California, and Oregon all had their results right as the polls closed? They all showed Trump with 31% and Biden with whatever else he had. Why? Right after the polls closed, but they're still counting ballots in about 7 states and nothing has been decided. How did these states get their ballots counted so quickly and counted with the same percentage for Donald Trump versus Joe Biden? And again, every one of these elections always go to the Democrats in Washington State. Hello, how many Americans have camped from one end of Saudi Arabia to the other during the War on Terror and lived to tell about it? If 1001 Arabian Nights fascinates you and Lawrence of Arabia really gets you excited, well, they have nothing on Killing Time in Saudi Arabia, an American experience. This, my friends, is a true story. Available at HEINESSIGHTS.com. I'll leave the links in the description. Now, back to our show. So as a candidate in Washington State, I'm going to reiterate what I have been running on since 2016. The first thing I want to reiterate is that we're in massive debt, right? Because of this coronavirus. Now, if I had won, I was going to push legislation to put through that the United States government could not borrow any more money. And now they've borrowed about $10 trillion more to increase our deficit, not our deficit, our kids' deficit, our grandkids. And you don't know this, but what happens in these countries like ours that can't pay for their debt, or that can't pay for their, debt, well, they have to start taxing people. Some countries, like in Asia, because of some of these financial scandals, are being taxed at 60%. And if you don't think that's coming your way, you've got another thing coming, because we don't have money. All we're doing is hoping somebody's going to finance our debt. And who finances our debt? Saudi Arabia, China, okay? So that would have never happened if I had been elected. The next thing I want to talk about is look what's happening right now. We have all of these people who have no respect for our democracy. They have no respect for our system. They hate our country, but they're here. How did these people get here? I'll tell you, and this is another reason I ran. I ran because I said we should allow people that are, were brought here as kids, not their choice. We should allow them to stay. But people who are here illegally, they have to go right now. There is no path to citizenship. They get out because we have 20 million people in this country. How many millions of illegal votes have been cast by these people? And have they cast one vote? Have they cast 40? We don't even know that. All we know now is that somebody had a motivation to elect a candidate like Joe Biden, who was just going to let every illegal alien stay, open up the border, and just let our country be overrun. So that's another reason that I ran for office. Now, another reason I ran for office is because the Republican Party offers nothing to young people. I wanted free education. I wanted to have legal marijuana across the country. Now, look what all these socialists have been saying. Oh, we should have free education and we should have legal marijuana. But they were never saying, well, we should have legal marijuana to pay for the education. They just wanted to have another reason to tax you. So another reason that I should have won election. Now, ultimately, what we really need to be worried about is, and what is happening right now, is a fundamental breakdown of our education system. Our schools are staffed with communists. Our schools are staffed with people that hate our country. We have been overrun by immigrants that come into this country who cannot stand us, and there's no reason for them to have been let in here except for the Democrats in 1996 passed legislation that said you could get into this country no matter what your background, your affiliations, whatever, which means you could be a terrorist and we'll let you in the country. In fact, we'll encourage you to come in the country. And now people wonder what happens or what happened in this election. You have all these people that not only hate our country, they hate democracy, they have no respect for us, and you see it every day on the news and in the fake media, no respect for us. And all these people are going, wow, how did this ever happen? It happened because you fell asleep. Well, the last thing I want to say is this. With the debt, with the influx of people who are here illegally, we have a number of people here. I would say the percentage is about 30% of people here are functionally illiterate. It means they can't read a newspaper, they don't understand what people are saying to them in English, and so they don't really know what's going on. But these functionally illiterate people are out voting, right? They're out voting, they're out being told to vote, they're being told how to vote, right? And how many of these illegal aliens are functionally illiterate? So I'm telling you people, we have a mess. And every time there is an election, they have you looking at this stupid problem and this stupid problem that has nothing to do with you. While you're sitting in traffic, you can't even, like if you live in Seattle, you can't even get to work anymore because traffic, well, until the China virus came along, traffic is so snarled. They have mismanaged the city so that we're going to be in debt for the foreseeable ever because of all these projects, all these pork barrel things the Democrats did to keep themselves in power. We have a coronavirus that we don't, when this came, nobody ever said, how do we stop this from coming again? Nobody said, how do we stop this from coming again? You only stop it by stopping it at the source. You stop the Chinese from coming in here. So I'm not trying to be racist or anything. I'm looking at the facts. So we have just destroyed our country. We have allowed them to destroy our country. And I'm saying I'm not going to stand for it anymore. And I'm asking you to stand with me. So in Washington State or in the United States, I ask you to stand for the president, regardless of your opinions. If these votes are not counted and if you want to ever have another election again, regardless of what happens in this election, these votes have to be counted, only the legal votes. So, of course, you've heard all these stories. I'm not going to go into it. But this is why I'm fighting, and this is why I need your support. If you want to support me, you can also do this. Have you ever dreamed of being consumed in a river of lava or being squashed flat in a scalding pyroclastic flow? The fact is, you probably haven't, but you might when you find out what happens when selling real estate mixes with a secret weapons project called Snowden. Is it fact or is it fiction? The Rainier paradigm is available at HEINESSIGHTS.com and anywhere fine books are sold. The links are in the description. Now, back to our show. Hi, welcome back. So, I'm Matthew Heines, again, running for the 1st Congressional District in Washington State. This is a very dangerous time for our country. I cannot say that enough. So please support the president. Do what you can to help the legal fight. And let's never, ever, ever let this happen again. Thank you for your time.